recording first?
Okay, recording has started now. Where do I go? I've never.
You see my name?
Mm-hmm.
It just says more, and then you can make me host there.
Okay. There you go.
And if somebody, do you have a waiting room where you're letting people in?
I do.
Okay, so I will do that as well.
Oh, I see.
You have now lost that privilege. Right?
The one job I get.
The one job, and I just take them all away. I'm sorry. It's automation. And with all this, I have to say I'm less and less a fan of Zoom as they keep adding more and more restrictions on here. It used to be so user friendly, and now it's difficult. So awesome. All right. Well, are we ready to get started?
Think so.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, perfect. Well, once again, welcome everybody. How many people here, this is your first time seeing me in a presentation? Very first time. Like on a call, Zoom call. Or has everybody been on before? Pretty sure everybody's been on, right? So we'll go with that method. Has anybody here not listened to the audio from Jim Rohn called Building Your Network Marketing Business? Okay, if you have not listened to that, it's free on YouTube. His last name is spelled R-H-O-N. First name Jim. And that's going to teach you some basic principles of network marketing that you absolutely need to know. Okay, if other people have heard me say this and you haven't listened to it, listen to it. It's that important. Where I'm just going to keep harping on that until you do listen to it. Because it gives you the right idea of how to build your business correctly with the right integrity, the right mindset, and a lot of great ideas as well. So as we go on through future calls, we're going to talk about that. So, have that ready. And then also the book GoPro, definitely get that as well. We'll begin to cover the 7 steps of GoPro and how to use those effectively, okay? But today, because it is the middle of the month, what I want to talk about is what's your goal? What are you trying to achieve? And how do we get there? The first question I want to ask is how many people here would, if I could show you a way, and it's going to take a lot of work, but if I can show you a way to make a residual income of $1,000 every single month, how many people here are willing to do that? Okay? Guaranteed money, $1,000. This isn't minimum monthly guaranteed income. This is, we drop something that's part of the compensation plan. And if you can unlock it, how many people here have ever played a game where you had to unlock a secret level, right? This is the secret level. This is the magic mushroom, not that kind of mushroom, right? That Mario jumps on, it turns them into a huge giant, in this industry, building machine. So this is going to give you the leg up. If you're interested in the leg up, pay attention, because I'm only going to do this one time. No, I'm just kidding. We'll do this as many times as it takes to get there. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying this is not easy. Can everybody see my screen? Does it say me in 3? Crystal, give me a thumbs up. Okay, we good? All right. Let me start by saying this is not easy. Okay. And it's going to take a lot of effort and work to do it. But let's first explain, but you know what? Some of you might already be halfway there, if not closer, okay? So how many people are familiar with the me in 3? Okay, everybody's familiar? So if you do the me in 3, you make $135, not credits for products, $135 cash money in your check given to you every single month, right? Now, if you're able to do that, that's now guaranteed money, right? As long as you keep the 3 people that are ordering with 100 PV each and have a total of 600 PTV or personal team volume, then you're going to get that 135. Now, should they all be, can customers be a part of this? Sure. Do you need them to all be wellness partners? Yes, you do. And here's the reason why. We go to the next slide here. It's the Me in 3 team bonus. Okay, so if you can teach those 3 people to enroll 3 people each with the same parameters, 600 PTV, 3 wellness partners, guess what now happens? You make $250 extra, right? On top of that, you're making your normal commissions. So in order to have this, you'd have to have 600 at 600 at 600 at 600, which is how much? 2,400, right? In volume. So to have this, you got to have 2,400 in volume. And that's going to give you bare minimum $500 in residual income every month. Now, what's great about this is if somebody falls out, the next person in line takes their place. So do I say stop at 3 people? No, you got to bring in a minimum of 6. Why? Because until December, if you can fill this all the way out twice in the same month, which means you have 6 people that brought in 3 people each with a total of 1,200 personal team volume, you get to keep that second Me in 3 placed. Now understand that this $385 is above and beyond the compensation plan. Plus you're going to have at least 4,800 in volume and in 6 different legs, right? So let me ask you this question. What does it take to get to bronze? How much volume? Somebody answer that for me.
3,000 PV.
3,000, okay? Is 4,800 more than 3,000? Yes, it is. Now, if you have 6 people earning their Me in 3s, how much, are they at least a 3 heart? Bare minimum, 3 heart, right? So what rank are you? You're really close to silver. Like that's skipping over bronze almost. And what happens at silver?
Guaranteed income.
For 6 months. So what happened now, is that $1,000 minimum income for 6 months, or did it just become 2,000? Right? And you granted, after the 6 months, will your income level drop? Not if you go to gold. And there if you go to platinum, no. If you don't slow down, it's going to continue to grow and multiply and move. Does that make sense? So how many people here understand that what I'm showing you how to do is not easy, but you've got to ask yourself this question, is it worth it? And how you answer that question is, what would I do with an extra $1,000, actually $2,000 a month? What's $2,000 times 6 months? It's actually closer to, it'd be more than that, more like $2,500 bare minimum if you're doing both, right? So what would you do with $2,500 extra? Could you get a different car? Absolutely, right? It's not going to be a Maserati or a Ferrari or anything, but you could probably put a down payment on a nice car. What else could you do with it? How many people would love to go on a vacation on your own terms? Not to say that the Amari one was bad by any means, right? The Amari one was awesome, it was all expenses paid. But if you had an extra, let's see, 25 times 6, that's 10, and what, 1250, something like that? 12,500? Could you go on a pretty nice vacation with your entire family with that? Yeah, absolutely. Right? So in your mind, what would you do with that money? How would that improve your life? When you set goals, set rewards with your goal. Because money is money. Money is not a motivational factor. Believe it or not, money is not that motivating. It's the things that you do with money that is motivating. For instance, if I ran a contest for $1,000 or an iPad mini, I'd get more engagement out of the iPad mini, especially if it was autographed with your name on it and had Amari stuff inside of it. Everybody go nuts over that, not so much over the $1,000, right? Does that make sense? It's what you can do with it that makes the difference. So as we look here, how do we start building this Me in 3? How many people here already have the beginnings of their Me in 3 started? Maybe the first half done. Okay, So here's your goal. If you do not have the first half done, get the first half done by the end of this month. Because remember, that one still counts for next month too, as long as they all come back and reorder, right? But it's easy to fill a couple holes than to have to build the whole thing. So come December, now you've got half of it ready to go. Now you've got to do the other half. And you can't tell me that it's not possible to do in 2 months. I've seen people recruit more than 6 people in 1 month. Okay. Now the second step is once you've got those 6 people in and they start working and building, what do you need to do? You need to set goals to get them to get their double me in 3 too. Why? Because do they have till the end of December to finish it? No, they get 3 full months. So they have more time. For you, it's urgent because you don't get 3 full months starting today. You got till the end of December. So you got a month and a half left because you've had 3 months, that unless you joined after symposium. If you joined after symposium, you got 3 months from when you joined. Make sense? But if you've been here from symposium, your 3 months is halfway done. So it now is a sense of urgency, but you also want to make it a sense of urgency for your new people as well. Okay. How many people want to take advantage of that that me and 3 double bonus? Okay. How many people think it's too hard? Because I'll tell you right now, it's not. How do you do it? You get your 3 people or your 6 people onto the next training call. Because we're going to set goals every training call. We're going to talk about setting goals. I'm going to treat these calls until the end of this month. And if we have to do more calls, Kamala, before the end of the month, let's do more calls. Like if we need to do multiple a week to keep people on track, let's do multiple a week. But the one thing I'm stressing here is there are people that have this, and they're called founders. This was one of the major parts of the Amari's founder program that they brought back limited time. So there have been people that have been capitalizing on this for years. And now you have the opportunity, but then there's a whole bunch of people that were founders that didn't capitalize on this. That's $12,000 more a year of income that you could be, if you just did that, maintained it and stopped. What would 12,000 guaranteed a year do for you and your family? That's a question you got to ask yourself. And then you've got to ask yourself, am I willing to work my butt off for the next month and a half to get it? Because really, it's not going to come back. It's not one of those things that it's not like the double trip points where they just throw it out willy-nilly. This costs the company, if everybody were to win this, we'd probably go bankrupt because it is way above extra money. And that's why it's not easy to maintain. That's why it's not, hey, you got a year to get there, okay? But a lot of you already have your first me and 3 done. So you just got to get the second one. Some of you are just starting, but then you've got your full 3 months if you just started. So you've got time to do it. But I've seen people pull off the first me and 3 in the first couple of days of their business, right? And then, they kept enrolling and rolling and rolling, okay? The mistake there is they're not teaching their team to duplicate and enroll. That's more important. Get your 6 that are interested in doing this, okay? And then go from there. Because worst case scenario, they're going to get their 3 and you won. You've got it, right? But they're still getting their 135, so they win too. Everybody wins. So it's not there's not a lose-win situation here. If you win, your 6 people have to win too, at least at the 135 marker. Make sense? Questions so far?
I do. I'm still operating under the parameters of my previous company, so I don't know how to interpret this. Because the structure, if I got a me and 3 in my other company, this is the one that would have to be fulfilled in order for me to get my second one. But I've got a customer and 2 wellness partners. So basically this one won't count for me to get this extra bonus.
Well, yes, it counts. So it counts for your volume, because remember, you have to have 600 personal team volume, and it counts for your 135. But remember, a customer can't enroll people, so they can't get their 3. So there's no way to get your team bonus.
do I just go then to my next third person that came in next? Is that how
Right.
it works?
Yep. In fact, you want to do that with 6 total people. Just
Okay.
think of it as 6. The way I look at it is find your 6 people, help those 6 people get 3 each, and have a total of 2,400 in volume. That's as simple as I can put it. But it has to be done with wellness partners because customers cannot enroll people. Now, here's you want a cheat code. Here's your cheat code, what to do with your customers. Remember, your customers still count as one of the 3 people. You do not have to enroll your customer underneath you. Are you going to make as much money? No. But is it worth it to unlock your deal? Yes. Right? So let's say that you had, if you look at my chart here, the person on the person on the far right is, let's say they had 1, 2, and then you had everything else except for that third person underneath that one person. That would be a smart time to drop one of your customers in there. Okay? And then here's the question that comes in. I can't move customers. That's right. You're going to have to call up whoever that is and say, hey, it's your lucky day. I'm going to help you build your business. I'm going to give you a customer. Do you think anybody on your team is going to say no? No. All you need to do is send a shopping cart to this address right here, and then we'll take care of the rest. They're not going to say no, right? Is your customer going to care? They shouldn't. They're a customer, right? And let's branch that subject. In Amari, you have the ability to, for 14 days, move somebody, okay? And you're going to get this a lot from friends and family members. How dare you move me out of your front line, especially if they're a networker. People get really upset about that. So when you move somebody, you say, hey, look, I'm doing what's best for my organization. I'm going to help you do what's best for yours as well. Guess what? I'm still your enroller. I'm just moving your sponsorship over here because it behooves my business to do that. But you're still on my front line as enrollment, right? So technically, there's 2 trees. You got the enrollment tree and the sponsor tree. Okay? So when you move somebody, just tell them, hey, look, this is how the business works. I'm going to teach you how to do the same thing to make the most amount of money. But I don't want to go in the beginning past 6 legs. I can't. Because it does not help my business to do that until I hit servant leader. How many people know why at servant leader, that's when you start going past your 6 legs? And this is one thing like you should be super excited for if you're shooting for the top. It's servant leader because the money is ridiculous there. If you haven't noticed, I'm a straight to the point money guy. I love the products. I wouldn't be here if the products didn't work. I use the products faithfully. My kids, my family use it faithfully, and I adore the products. I won't work with a company that doesn't have products that work. But at the end of the day, what drives people is the ability to provide for their families and do things they want, right? At the end of the day, right? We all want to have better things for us and our families. So that's the way you need to explain it to people. Say, look, I'm going to show you do the exact same thing I'm doing and how to organize your structure correctly. So if somebody has the argument their way, just say, I'm going to teach you to do the exact same thing. And then you're going to have the same conversations with your people, so listen carefully, right? So be an authority figure at that point. Any other questions? Oh, sorry, did I answer your question with that?
Mostly, but does it matter what order they come in to count towards?
Nope.
Oh, so like
okay, it doesn't have to be in order at all.
Okay. It could just be any 3 that start working on their me and 3. I have to finish those and then go to any other 3 that work on theirs.
Right. So for instance, let's say I enrolled 25 people, and out of the 25, the 3rd person, the 10th person, and the 18th person all got their 3 people each, right? Now that becomes my first me and 3 and team bonus. Obviously, I already have my own me and 3 because I've got more than 3 people. But for my team bonus, it's going to pull for the very first 3 people that drop 3 people. So it doesn't have to be the same people.
Okay. Awesome. That answers my question.
And then also, just on the same line of topic, right? In your organization, when it talks about legs, the person qualifying doesn't need to be the person you enrolled. For instance, if you need 6 bronze legs, you need 6 platinum legs to hit 5 heart servant leader. And let's say I have 6 legs. Those 6 platinum people don't have to be the people I enrolled. They could be 100 levels down and that leg will still qualify me to servant leader. And that's different than most companies. And the reason why it's different than most companies is that builds a really bad culture amongst people. Because let's say the person you enrolled isn't doing anything, your main goal is to kick them out so the person that's doing something can rise up. So we took that whole thing away to where it doesn't matter. Because we love people. And we want people to win and succeed. So, but we also can't bankrupt the company. So there are checks and balances, but we have a very fair and easy to earn and compensation plan. It's guaranteed for the new people. Like it's easier for the new people to earn money really quickly. And a lot of people call it a fast start bonus, but we call it a heart start bonus. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, and also there's a widget in your back office that shows you as you close in on the Me and 3 and team bonus. The second part will open up once you fill out the first one. As long as they're done programming it. Let me put that caveat in there. All right. Any other questions?
Hey, Mike, I have a question. Yeah, I have a question really quick. I had somebody ask me this week, and I just wanted to clarify. If someone hits their Me and 3, their second Me and 3 this month, then they have already qualified for all of next year, right? Even if for some reason December they did not hit as well.
Right. No, once you only have to open it once, and then it's permanent.
Okay.
Is somebody in the waiting room?
I don't see anybody. I have it up. So.
Okay.
Are they saying, because they're not showing up in this waiting room?
Okay. Someone had just said something. So.
Have I been paying close attention to it? No, but I don't see anybody in the waiting room right now. So next time they'll be on time. I'm just kidding. All right. So let's keep moving forward here. We're just going to skip through some of these slides. Now, what I want to show people here is if you can show people to duplicate the Me and 3, that's all you need to teach them, is to duplicate the Me and 3 and teach everybody how to do their own Me and 3. And it kind of starts building out a really strong core base of the right things to do. Does that make sense? So get those 3, because what if you enroll 3 good wellness partners, how far can that take you in the company rank-wise?
Platinum.
Platinum. So come leader, how many legs do you need?
4.
4. So when do you need 6 legs?
Is it servant leader or
Servant,
5 heart?
Yeah. Servant leader.
Okay.
Okay. Now, here's the question. How many legs should you build out right away then? If you need 6 to make it to the top, how many do you think you should build? 6, right? 6 wellness partners that are building. If you get the double Me and 3, how many legs do you need to build? 6 wellness partners, right? All of a sudden it starts to make sense. We're setting you up for permanent success with this promotion. You have the 6 legs that you need, that now those 6 people are earning residual income. Do you think they're going to quit? No, they're not going to quit. Are they going to grow to where you need them to? Not all of them. You're going to have to replace people. Okay? If anybody here says they have their 6 right people that are going to take them to the top, I'll bet you a steak dinner right now that those 6 people will not make it to the top with you. Why? That's just statistics. I've been in the corporate side since 2006. I've never seen somebody bring in their core leaders on the front line and all of them succeed in every company. Never happened. Never happened. Right? And you can't expect that either. Why? Because here's the thing. We do not own people. Okay? That's my motto in network marketing. And that's why I get so angry at all these companies out there that have these ridiculous things where you can't do network marketing if you are a part of my company. That's just the dumbest thing I ever heard, right? And the majority of those lose in court anyways, because a lot of states are the right to work states. And on top of that, you know, did they fulfill everything they said they were going to do? I'm not saying to go out and pick a fight with your former company by any means, because they probably have more money and more legal power to fight you and drain your expenses. You know, I've seen that happen too. But it comes to the fact of how you want people to be treated and how you want them to feel. Do you want people to feel scared in your company, or do you want to feel loved in your company? Mari means love. So of course we're not doing that kind of stuff. The question to you is how are you treating your team members? Right? Are you giving them every opportunity to succeed? And do you know what those opportunities are to succeed? I know Kamala, for instance, and she knows that how busy I am and everything I'm doing, but she cared enough about you to set up this weekly training to help you work through the kinks of Amari. Because even if you've been a previous network marketing professional, like, am I pronouncing your name right, Maura? Every company is a little bit different. And the rules of how they do things are a little bit different. So what I don't want you to get stuck on while we do this is any of the little tidbits. So understand that I don't believe there's a thing called stupid questions. If you really have a question that you need to, that even if you think it's embarrassing to ask, just ask it. Because I guarantee you there's more people on this call with the same question that are probably afraid to ask the same question. Just ask it. I might only laugh at you for a few seconds, but that's it, I promise. Just kidding. All right? So, double me in threes. Why stop at a double, right? Keep going. Not that we're going to pay you for more than two, but teach your groups to build in those threes. Get your three, help them get three more, help them get three more. Then you help those six continue to grow to platinum, and then you start building again. Why? Okay, let's future pace a little bit. Let's understand the reality of this compensation plan and understand the reality of the money, because otherwise you might get discouraged, and I don't want you to get discouraged. Oh, we pay for a personal customer bonus. That's pretty cool. 7 levels. Yep, got that. All right, here we go. So as we grow here, as you can see, we got minimum guaranteed incomes up until platinum. Then we have leadership bonuses up until servant leader. Okay. And then we have go forward infinity bonus, which we'll talk about. Okay. Now, where are you going to get most discouraged? Does anybody know? Most people think that you get most discouraged at 1, 2, and 3 heart. In actuality, it's probably going to be leader to servant leader. In between there is really not discouraging, but you're not going to see the influx of money you think might be there. Is that a permanent thing? No. Understand that pool bonuses grow with the company, right? And because we have a lot more, you know, bronze, silver, golds, and platinums, leaders, senior leaders, executive leaders, then we have 1, 2, and 3 hearts and bronzes, right? And that's because we ran some great promotions. People ranked up, people did what they had to get there, but there's not a ton of filler at the bottom where there should be. I guess that's a good thing for Amari, like for us, because people get engaged and they make money, right? People are engaged, they make money. But excuse me, in the future, we're going to have hundreds of thousands more customers. We're going to have hundreds of thousands more 1, 2, and 3 hearts and bronzes, at which point your mentor bonuses will be much bigger. And more so than that, your leader and above bonuses will be bigger. Right now, they're smaller. Why? Because there's not enough people to fuel the bonuses to be huge. There's more people in those ranks than there are fodder at the bottom, if that makes sense. So don't get discouraged, okay? But is there a rainbow at the end of the tunnel? Yes, it's called servant leader and above. Why? Because there's very few of those, and those bonuses are huge because there's very few. Does that make sense? So let's talk about some of the huge bonus potentials. So we got the mentor pool here, And understand that these pools are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as we get more and more people. So if you're here and their bonuses are kind of small right now, remember, we're not even a 3-year-old company yet, okay? We haven't hit momentum yet, which be grateful for that. Because if you get on board when it starts, you've got to ramp up and go as fast as everybody else is. Now you've got time to prep, ramp up, get your systems in place, and then go, right? That's about, I would say, a year to year and a half from now. So if anybody here isn't here in a year and a half from now, I feel sorry for you, because that's when it gets much easier and you're going to make a lot more money. Yes, you have to work harder now to get the same thing. But remember, you guys, everybody on here is relatively new within the last year, right? Think of the Sarah Hines in the very beginning and the Brett and Brooks. They didn't have tools. They didn't have testimonials. They had a brand new product out on the shelves that nobody knew anything about, and there was no COVID to push it. What I mean by that? Yeah, people are stuck at home, so I would guarantee getting appointments now and talking to people is much easier than it used to be, because people are at home and they're bored and stressed out, and we have stuff for that, right? Okay, now, are we all focusing on stress, anxiety, depression? I hope not. We should be developing cognitive and mental and physical performance. Okay, i.e. better sleep, better memory, better focus, weight loss. All those things our products do, lowering cortisol levels, filling our body full of feel-good neurotransmitters. Does that mean we don't talk about stress, anxiety, depression? No. But I start off the conversation as if I'm saying, hey, most people think that our products are only there for stress, anxiety, depression. Even though they work well for that, we're actually a mental wellness company, not a mental illness company. And let me explain what that means. And then I go through the products and I start talking about the benefits that they have that people want. How many people here know that they're professional athletes using it to boost their performance? Professional soccer players, professional football players, professional baseball players. And they're using it instead of taking stuff like Adderall. Okay? So, I mean, do our products work? Yeah, they wouldn't be buying it if it didn't, especially over and over again, right? So remember, when you're talking to different people, switch your pitch a little bit to whatever, excites them. A lot of people, it's memory. A lot of people, focus will get them there. A lot of people, a lot of people will just jump in on that sleep if you do it correctly, okay? All right, pool bonus, leader bonus, same thing, but what has us really excited is the Go Forward Infinity bonus. So let's say, Crystal, that you build a giant organization. Let's say you follow everything I'm telling you to do, and at Servant Leader, you double your organization by going from 6 legs to 12. Okay, at Servant Leader, those 12 legs will pay you 1% on the entire organization, no matter how deep it goes. You'll still get your 5% for the first 7 levels, but then you're going to get 1% for all the levels, even if it's 1,000 levels deep. Okay, now once you hit 4 Heart Servant Leader, you get 2%, not on those 12 people, not on those 6 new people. That stays at 1%. Why? Because your 4 Heart above you gets that other 1%, right? So now you build 6 more legs and you get 2% on those legs. They stay at 2% when you hit 5 Heart Servant Leader. Why? Because the 5 Heart Servant Leader above you gets that extra percent, right? Now when you hit 5 Heart Servant Leader, you get the full 3%. And now think of all those legs just take off and start growing super deep, right? Camille, I did it again. Kamala, have you passed your 7th level yet on any place? Right?
Yeah.
And you kind of get some money from that on the pool bonus, but not really, right? You do, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
How cool would it be if you had 100 levels and you're getting paid on all 100 levels? That's what this does. And how can we be this generous? Because we know not everybody's going to make it to Servant Leader and higher. But when you talk about a full-time income, of disposable income, hitting Servant Leader and above will get you there. You don't have to work another job there. You're very comfortable in a nice house with fancy cars there, right? Not, yeah, servant leader. You're at a healthy low six-figure income. 5-heart servant leader. You're at a healthy mid to high six-figure income. You know, you're talking 5 to maybe 700,000 in that range. And we're still beginning. And that's off 6 legs. Does that make sense? Think if our servant leaders started doing what I'm telling you to do. I'm not saying that they're not, but how fast would their income grow to $1 million a year? Because the great part about doing this type of compensation plan is the income is actually unlimited to your work, because you can go as wide as you want. You can go 7 levels deep, but you can go 500 wide if you needed to or wanted to, or were saying not saying enough to stop somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because that's a lot of people to help coach. But fortunately, you guys joined a group with a great system, and if you just start plugging people into the system and letting the leaders of your group do what they're supposed to do, and take charge and do that. I'm not saying that they're not. Then you'd have a lot more time to keep recruiting. That is your main focus. Until you're 5-heart servant leader, your 80% of your time should be recruiting. 20% should be developing your team, and it should be less than that until you hit leader. Actually, let's go 5-heart servant leader. I'll even go 50-50 split. But somebody that puts up top enrollment numbers every single month is Sarah Hine. She enrolls a minimum of 6 to 8 people a month. And she gives away a lot of people, to help build our organization. Like when I talk about customers and placing them in strategic spots, do that. And if you have questions, I know Kamala is very, very fluent in our compensation plan. If you have questions or need anything, just ask her, hey, I'm trying to hit this rank and here's my organization so far. I've got a customer coming in. What were the best place to put this person? And I'm sure she'll be happy. And if she can't see the data, then she can call me and we can go from there, right? But we'll figure it out for you. Don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? Now, we have a waiting room for a reason. Don't be afraid to move people if you need to. Just understand that you can never move them back if you move them, okay? That's one of our quirky rules. All right. Any questions now? Stop my share here really quick. All right, Crystal, you're now the host again. The hostess with the mostest right there. Nobody has any questions, really. Everybody's ready to go out to get their double me in 3, starting right now. Does anybody here not want the double me in 3? I must have done a great job explaining it, because normally I have questions. All right, homework assignments. I know everybody loves homework, right? If you have not listened to the Jim Rohn CD, it's free, YouTube, Jim Rohn, R-H-O-N, Building Your Network Marketing Business. Listen to that before the next call, because we'll talk about it, okay? If you don't have the book GoPro, download it, get it, do whatever you need to do. Why? Because we're going to go over that, and we'll break it down real simple, okay? Now, with any of this, I will urge you not to buy further programs than what I suggest, because you can get up on the whole GoPro thing, start going to the seminars, and spending all your money doing that, which if you really want to, that's great, and you can learn a lot. But honestly, they're just kind of subsectioning parts of their books into more seminars. Everything you need is in that one book. If you want more books, I've got tons that I can recommend, okay? Why am I such a big component on understanding this industry and how to do it correctly? How many people have done network marketing and failed? Okay? Why? You can say it's the company, you can say it's this, you can say it's that, right? But I'll be honest with you. There are people there making money. They have the same compensation plan and the same products you do, right? There's a gentleman I talked to not that long ago, and he's like, why should I join your company? And I'm like, well, why not? And he goes, well, I've done 3 different companies. I've never made any money. And I asked him the same questions. Hey, do you have, you know, did they have a different compensation plan for you? No. Did they have different products for you? No. And then I pretend to think for a second and go, oh, I know what it is. I go, I know what those 3 companies had in common. He goes, what's that? I go, well, you. You did not educate yourself in order to do this business correctly. Just like becoming a doctor, they have to go to 12 years of school to become a doctor, right? But people think they can walk in and overnight become a 7-figure earner in network marketing. To me, it's just ludicrous thinking. Like, you have to understand what people are doing, how they're doing it, the psychology of why they're doing it. And most of all, you've got to learn to duplicate. There's a reason why, I'm sure everybody heard this, but I want you to really listen to this really closely. If it's not duplicatable, do not do it. If everybody in your team can't do what you're doing, do not do it. Why? How many people join network marketing with the hopes of what we call residual income? Right? We want to be able to retire and not have to think. I just want to show up to the yearly vacation, and I want to walk across the stage and wave like a princess. And you know, that's all. After 10 years, that's what I want to be doing. Joe told me this. He wants to wave like a princess on the stage, and that's all he wants to do after 10 years, right? That's it. And I'm like, cool. How do you do that? You become a duplicatable system where they do not need you. If the system is strong and everybody can do it, and doesn't mean everybody will do it, but if it's possible for anybody in any demographic to do, that's the system you want. And Rebecca's built a good one. Okay? So you're all very lucky that you walked into a crazy good system. Okay? What are you doing with it? You have mentors and coaches up the wazoo. What are you doing with them? Right? Use the knowledge and what you've learned so far in the industry, and don't make the same mistakes. What do I mean by the same mistakes? Well, you know what? I'm going to go from doctor's office to doctor's office and try and enroll doctors. Okay, we've enrolled thousands of doctors and maybe 2 of them have ranked up. Does that work? No. Why? Because the majority of doctors don't have time. Okay, Rial got lucky, got 1 good doctor, and then we have Michelle Massa, and she's even too busy, right? And so her husband helps her run it. And then we have Andrea Armstrong, and that's about it. You know how many doctors I talk to that we just barely enrolled that do nothing? You know who does everything? Who the majority of the growth people are? Moms. Moms. Does anybody here know any moms? I know tons of moms, right? Those are the people that you want. Why? Number 1, they probably have a passion for health and whatever, right? Number 2, they have disposable time. More so than a doctor would, right? Because, yeah, I have 3 kids at home, and I understand they're a handful, and I'm not discounting that by any means, not discounting that. Trust me, I would probably hang myself if I had to watch my 3 boys by myself permanently. I would not survive. I'm not built for that. I am not built for that, okay? So I understand if you're a stay-at-home mom that your job is very, very difficult, but you do have in-between times. That's why stay-at-home moms, and you have a network of people that you know from schools, PTA, soccer clubs, that kind of stuff. That's why moms are most successful at this, okay? But remember, if you go cognitive and physical optimization, you're also getting the dads. I mean, notice the demographic on this call. We got Joe. That's it. We got Joe, as far as I can tell, right? I don't see any other men on this call, right? Now, Joe, do you mind if I pick on you for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I know why you got on our products and why you love our products, because you had some health issues and whatnot, but I'm guaranteeing that the majority of your friends probably don't. What do your friends like to do? Like, what's your
I-
in common hobby?
Probably deer hunting, outdoors activities, that kind of stuff. Sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I could show you a supplement that helped improve all these above, do you think they'd be more interested?
Yeah.
Right. So for me, it was golf, right? So to be able to have more concentration helped me hit the golf ball better. Okay. Do you think as a hunter, you need more patience?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. If I could show you a way that you could sit there and just stare at nothing for hours and hours and hours and be okay with it, is exactly why I don't hunt. Is because I cannot just sit there for that long and do nothing, right? So hats off to you guys. Just send the meat my way. I'm fine with eating it. Have no qualms about you shooting the animals. I'll eat it. I just can't sit there. I like fishing because at least I can fidget with something, right? Jig, and so fishing's good for me. Or like, you know, maybe grouse hunting, because that's active. You're just, you know, trying to kick them and then they fly up and then you shoot them, right? Because they're not real smart. I can't hunt smart animals because they will win every single time because I just don't have the patience for it, right? So that is the conversation I would start out with, kind of like that, not, you know, and then talk about how the products helped you focus and be able to sit there and how you bagged the trophy, whatever, right? Same with playing basketball. If you could have better aim, more focus, more agility, and more stamina, would that be something you're interested in? Losing weight for men is, you know, men don't talk about like wanting to lose weight, but they secretly want to be fit. They're you know, they're still stuck back in their high school wrestling days or football days, and they want to have that six-pack back. But unfortunately, you can't do that without digestive enzymes. Oh, guess what? We have those too, right? So understand who your target market is, and let's get a little more diversity on these calls. Okay? Because you can get a men with the cognitive and physical optimization part. Questions on that? If you have any questions on what we're talking about, you can watch the live that Camel and I did today, where we talked about mental and physical optimization and what Amari is. And it'll catch a lot of the fence sitters that are watching you, and then they're you know, you just said something that they needed. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have for today. I know that's a lot of information. Please, please, please set your goals for the end of this month. Okay. What do I mean by goals? Who here is trying to rank next month for this month? If you're trying to rank up, look at last month and see how much more volume you need and what legs you need those. And then work backwards. What do I mean by work backwards? Okay, so I need 1,000 PV more than I had last month. And that's going to come with new enrollments. So with that, I've got to say the average customer spends 140 PV, the average wellness partner about 200 PV, okay, on average. So I take those two numbers and say I need X amount of people. I need 7 more people in order to reach my goal, because I've got to give attrition a little bit of a kick. So I want to give probably about 25% more higher on my enrollments than I think I need to go. Make sense? Okay, and then you work back and say, how many people do I need to contact in order to get that one person? And then you break that down per day and then per the time, and you divide that per time you have every day. Then you know exactly if you can hit your goal or if it might be too much of a stretch. Because if you have 40 minutes a day and you have to contact 50 people a day in order to get your goal, well, that's probably not going to happen unless you expand your hours or, you know, make a more reasonable goal. I believe everybody here can achieve greatness, but the one thing people also can do is fatigue themselves out by setting unrealistic boundaries and goals. Remember, this is your business. This is for you. Does it help your upline? Does it help them rank? Yes, it does, and be happy for them. But be mostly concerned about your income and your team and your growth and your team's growth. And be concerned about your team growing more than you're concerned about you growing, because guess what? If your team grows, what happens to you? You grow. 1,000% guaranteed. If your team grows, you will grow. Your income will grow. You just got to make sure that that volume is in the right legs in order for you to qualify for the bonuses, the minimum monthly guarantees, the leadership bonuses, and such like that. Any parting words, Kamala?
No, that was great. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate your time.
No problem.
And so we do team calls every week, but you're going to meet us back here on the first week of the month. Is that correct? Just so
Right,
we know when
unless
the
you
gym runs.
think, yeah, do you want to do one more before the end of the month? Like, do you want to do next week?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to join us next Monday at the same time, that'd be great.
Yeah, I don't have to take up the entire call, but, you know, I'd love to hear how people are doing. If they have questions, I could be a resource on the calls, for sure.
Okay, that sounds great.
Perfect. Just send me an invite. Remind me on that one, because it's not on my calendar, but I'll put it there for sure.
All right. I'll shoot you a text.
Good, good. All right. Anything else?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much, though, for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank
And if
you.
anybody's afraid to ask a question, feel free to ask it to somebody that gets it to me. Feel free to ask me on your own later. Ask Kamala to ask me, however it might be. And then we'll try and get them answered for you. Or if you think of something later on that you said, oh, I should have asked this, then feel free to email, message, text, whatever, call. I'm open and available for everybody.
Hey, I do have one quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you talk about, like trying to resonate with our prospects, right? So we know what our story is, and we share our story a lot. But if we are trying to put information out there on what all of our products can do, maybe they're not products that we take that we can maybe budget in yet, or we haven't seen those effects with ourselves or within our family. So we know that facts tell and stories sell. So if it's not part of our story, how do we get all the information out there about all of our products and all of the benefits that they can have for our prospects, so that we can
Interview somebody.
diversify who we're talking to? Like,
Yeah,
what is your suggestion on that?
What me and Kamala did today is she interviewed me on Facebook Live.
Okay, I've considered interviews, but I haven't done them, and I haven't heard that they actually get a lot of interest or success. Do you see that they do?
So the question is do you need a lot, or
No.
is a few okay?
No, a few is great. One is great.
Right, because then all of a sudden you have somebody that has that story because they need that product, they try the product, then they have that story, and then you can use their story because they're going to be building, doing the same thing that you just did. But
Right.
I mean, I've seen it to where I've done a live and talked about it because I'm on the corporate side and I can just talk about the stuff. I've seen people enroll just like last person got like 3 customers from that.
Okay. And do you have any on how to do an effective interview that's not, just one person talking and then the other person's just kind of sitting there for a long time? I mean, I guess that's kind of how the interviews typically go. I was just talking to someone about how, and she was just saying it would be nice if it could flow back and forth a little bit better and just to keep it short, Do you have any suggestions on effective interviews?
Yeah, the way that, I'd probably steamrolled Kamala on our interview because I love to talk, but beforehand, yeah, right. But we did beforehand, we said, okay, you're going to say this and then I'm going to respond this. So beforehand, we had a conversation where she would bring up the topic of mom staying at home and her husband running marathons because of the products. And then, so we did kids products, then we did performance products, then we did memory products and weight loss. So she would bring up the topic and I would explain how our products work on it.
Okay. Makes sense. And as far as, reaching your me in 3, with posting on social media, I feel like I have people just kind of trickling in. I know people are watching, things like that. But if I'm trying to hit this goal, how do you suggest to go more aggressive? Like, we don't typically cold call or reach out to people personally. We kind of put our story out there and bring people in that way. I know we can reach out to some people that we know personally, but do you have any other suggestions on how to go aggressive to make sure you hit that by the deadline?
The main thing is as soon as somebody comes in, that you're tap rooting. You're going and you're wanting to talk to their people. And I have a whole other training on that as well. But basically what you're doing is you're setting down the same thing we're doing as we goal set. You goal set with them, find out how much they're willing to do and how much they're expecting to make. And then you figure out if that's reasonable, right? If they're saying, I want to make $5,000 a month, my first month, I'm willing to do 5 minutes a day, that's not reasonable, right? So
Right.
you want to set reasonable goals and expectations first. At which point you're going to explain exactly what you're going to say to their prospects. And then you're going to set during their time limits how many people that they're going to put on three-way calls with you. And then if you do that method, normally you never run out of people to talk to.
Okay. And do you have any suggestions on how to get people on three-way calls? You know, a lot of people are resistant to that. I think they know that they're going to be hooked once they get on that call, or they're just intimidated or whatever. Do you have any suggestions on how to actually close that three-way call process step?
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite topics. So what I say is, can you do me a huge personal favor?
Nice.
So this is somebody, your friend, that's one of your friends, right? So let's say you were my friend. I want you to get on a three-way call. So I'm going to call you up. Hey, Catherine, this is Mike. It's, it's been a little bit since we chatted, but how are you doing? Talk about the family, friends, all that stuff. Hey, you know what? I just started something new, and I was wondering, Catherine, if you could do me a huge personal favor. I want you to kind of evaluate what I'm doing. I don't care if you buy any products or join, but I really value your opinion, and I'd love to get you on with my coach, Kamala, so you can hear it the same way that I heard it. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, sounds good.
Right? Because if you ask your friend to do you a personal favor, the majority of them are going to say yes.
Right.
And then you just let Kamala do what she does best and close them. And now, is that your goal, is to close them? No. Your goal is to get them to another appointment, another visit, another video. And you keep asking, what did you like best? Until you find their hot button. But here's the great part. If you know what their hot button is already, let Kamala know that,
Right.
hey, they want to lose weight, or hey, they need more focus, or hey, they need calmer kids, right? So
Right.
she knows what to focus on. And then you're probably closing the first time around, at least to buy the product. And then when they buy the product, you simply ask them, hey, do you want to become a wellness partner or a preferred customer like you were at Costco? Well, what's the difference? Well, you know, like when you go to the movies or when you go to a restaurant and you tell people about it and they don't ever pay you, the difference is we will. You don't have to do it seriously. You don't have to, but if you'd like to make a few extra dollars and you want to refer some people and send them my way, the company would be happy to pay you for that.
Right. Okay,
So
great.
It's very non-aggressive. Like, you join my business, work hard, no. It's like, let's make a couple extra dollars together, just like you would if you're watching a movie or going to a restaurant and you're telling people about it. You're just telling people about the great experience of a product. And the crazy part is, Catherine, if our products don't work, don't share with anybody.
Right.
And in fact, you can send them back for a full refund if they don't.
Right.
As
All
a
right,
customer.
Great advice. Thank you for your time at the end of the call.
No problem. Any other questions? That was great questions, by the way, Catherine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, it is 5:01. I'm very normally going over on calls, so this would be a first to get done on time. Any parting words?
No, just thank you again. We will see you next week.
I'll be there. I'll put it on my calendar now. Just make sure to resend me an invite.
All right, I will do. Have a great night.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks,
All
Mike.
right, for those of you showing up at Power Hour tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., remember, we'll be there.